I'll tell you, I really like our brockle face female that's going to win this class. I think this one's probably one of the best combination type females that's came out here so far today. I think this one's one that handles herself extremely well when we set her in motion. I think she's very good in her structure. I like the way she's laid in at her shoulder. I think she's the best out her hip and the best down her top line. A female that's in great condition, in my opinion, presented extremely well out here today. Really high quality female to start the class with. I think our closer pair here is probably between second and third. We've got some give and take in these two females. I think the female I chose to go ahead and leave in second here is probably one that just best matches up with her in terms of rib shape and in terms of softness and in terms of overall mass. I'd like to free her up as she goes a little to compete with the heifer in front of her. And sure, she's not the longest, prettiest necked one out here, but as I said, I think the amount of mass and power and everything else she brings to the table, I think that's the best home for her there in second. Our female here in third, probably the big difference, just not as soft in terms of her rib shape. We'd like to see her a little deeper all the way from forerib back to flank. Once again, similar to the way the heifer moved coming out there in second, she could be loosened up just ever so slightly, have a little more flex and set to her hock there as she goes, but a female that does combine some good things, still gives you ample amount of power and punch as she goes away from you. And here our female, the round out the class one, that just flat runs out of gas compared to the other ones above her. Doesn't have quite as much to her. We'd like to see some more body in her. We'd like to see some more internal dimension. I do like this female, the way she handles her top. She's probably one of the best spined ones in this class. She's probably one of the longer fronted, prettier necked ones. We just need way more of this heifer at this point in the game.
Over here to start the Gelbvieh show, we got one that could have stood a lot of competition. Talk about one that's correct in terms of her skeleton. Really ultra flexible off of both ends. Nice footed female. I think she's adequate in terms of her rib cage for her age. You step in behind her, she's got plenty to her. If we we're going to tweak her, I'd like to just give her a little more femininity over the top side of her neck, but still a very high quality single entry. Congratulations to that young man.
And first place in class number one over in your Gelbvieh show goes to entry number 4, T-Bar S Jada 168L, exhibited by Memphis Peterson of Puana, South Dakota. That will automatically be your Division I champion heifer. Now entering the ring will be class 3 in your Gelbvieh female show. Placings in Class 7 over in your full-blood Simmental show are as followed. First place goes entry number 29 at TCBO Augusta, exhibited by Peyton Killen of Charleston, Arkansas. Second place goes entry number 26, Faulkner Cosma 183K, exhibited by Ashlyn Odell from Williamsburg, Kansas. And third place goes entry number 27, Evans 96K, Sky's the Limit, exhibited by Riley Lynch of Southwick. Is that Massachusetts? And fourth place goes entry number 25, TNT's Roxanne, exhibited by Jay Smith of Claremont, Georgia. Congratulations. Now in the ring is Class 8 full-blood Simmental females.
Over here on the Gelbvieh side, another single entry female. Could have stood a lot of competition, man. When she gets her set up here from the side, gives you a really nice look, dead level down her top, really uniform in terms of her chest floor, the center swoop to her rib cage and back in through her flank. Maybe if we're going to tweak her, we clean her navel up ever so slightly, maybe give her a little softer look to her rear pasterns. Still a very good female. Congratulations, young lady, on a nice single entry.
And first place in Class 3 in your Gelbvieh show goes to entry number 7, My Love 431L, exhibited by Haley Cornett of Hillsboro, Ohio. Congratulations. Now entering the ring will be Class 5 senior heifer calves in your Gelbvieh show.
Another really high quality single entry. I think this heifer comes to us really green, but I think a ton of future. So cool in terms of the shape of her head and her neck. way it ties high out of the top of her shoulder. You set her in motion, she's also comfortable in terms of her skeleton. I love that about her. She maybe could have a little more to her, but I just like how green and fresh she comes to us today, and for her age, I think that heifer's going to do nothing but get better. Congratulations, that young lady, on another very high quality heifer with a ton of future.
And first place in Class 5 goes to entry number 8, 298KET, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marion, North Carolina. Now entering the ring will be Class 6 senior heifer calves over in your Gelbvieh show. Again, entering the ring now is Class 6.
Here on our full-blood side, I love the female we start with from a structural integrity standpoint. I think this is one of the freest moving heifers. Got some of the probably the most flex of the females we've seen here today. I love the softness that she has to her rib shape. We set her in motion. She holds everything together so well, so balanced from nose to tail. Love this baldy female to start the class with. Our pair here in second and third gets a little bit closer, in my opinion. Two very good females, two females that probably do offer a shot more muscle than our class winner, but along with that become just a little bit coarser in terms of their joint work, in terms of their overall design. Our heifer here has the advantage in second of having probably more rib shape and more expression to her, softer all the way from forerib out through her flank. A female that, as we ask her to go, I think still travels plenty good enough when she reaches, when she flexes. A good female there. Maybe set her in her shoulder just a nickel better. Good place to fall into our second hole. Female here in third, as I mentioned, got a little bit more power than maybe our class winner, but not quite as a soft overall appearance. A female that we'd like to tighten up there, tie her in through her loin, back into her hip a little bit better to compete with the ones above her. Heifer coming around the corner. Here's a heifer that's as long as a freight train. She's good down her spine. She handles herself well. We just need to make this one deeper all the way throughout. We need to soften her up, especially back through her flank, add more dimension to this heifer to compete with the ones in front of her. And our heifer rounding out the class. There's another high-quality female. The quality's been here from top to bottom in this class. We've just had some differences in terms of type and kind. And here's a female that just doesn't have the mass, doesn't have the power or the extra punch that some of those ones up above her. Just like to balance this one up from nose to tail a little bit more to compete with those others in the class.
And placings in Class number 8 over in your full-blood Simmental heifer show are as follows. First place goes to entry number 32, Lowlands Seabold Brandy 21K, exhibited by Cade Tate of Modrow, Oklahoma. Second place goes to entry number 34, Lowlands Santa Tria 201K, exhibited by Garrett Jones of Anna, Texas. Third place goes entry number 187, Lowglen Tovey Lily 215K, exhibited by Seth Carlson from Verona, Missouri. And fourth place goes entry number 33, TNT's Shenandoah, exhibited by Kylie Wilson of Lula, Georgia. Fifth place goes entry number 30, TNT's Alexa, exhibited by Samuel Bogg of Dalgoa, Georgia. And please note, entry number 31 was a scratch. Now in the ring is Class 9 full-blood Simmental heifers.
We're going to leave this class over here the same way they came in. The female that comes out here, here's one that jumps out and grabs you, a female that does balance up extremely well. Young lady gets her parked there, gets that head up, gives you a really good look about her. She's a female, probably excels over the one in second in terms of her hip shape and structure. She's much leveler from hooks to pins going out there. She sets in her tail head very nice. A female, if we were to change her, we'd tidy up her chest floor just a little bit, pull that chest plate back into her. But I think that's a very good female there, very good cow prospect to start the class with. I think the female here in second ties along with her very well in terms of type and kind. As I said, big advantage, probably hip. This one wants to roll off into her pins a little bit. We'd like to pick her up, square her up off there a little bit. But a female that does get out and go and travel very well. A female that gives you a look, got some style about her. Two very high quality females there as we move through our show.
Over here on the Gelbvieh side, man, we got a top pair in this class that is ultra competitive. I think both of these heifers are very high quality. I just selected to use the young man out front. I think there's just a little more heifer. You step in behind her and watch her coming at you. I think she's a little wider build heifer that's very similar in terms of her look. I think she's very adequate in terms of her skeleton. She balances up awesome here from the side. Really long bodied, really long and level from hooks to pins. I like the way her tail head sets in her better than the heifer in second. I think a heifer with just a ton of future. I would like to tone the crest down ever so slightly on the top side of her neck. That's getting picky on a very good heifer to win a very competitive class. This young man here with the cowboy hat, the heifer here in second, another heifer that's awesome in terms of her skeleton. From the second she walks in, she's just so comfortable the way she goes off of both ends. Her neck shoots high and comfortable out of the top of her shoulder. I think she's a level topped heifer. As I talked about, we could tone her down and set her tail head down into her ever so slightly. And then you step in behind her. There's just not quite as much heifer as the heifer that wins the class, but that's being picky on a very high quality female. Really a nice competitive top pair. And then we run into a couple heifers that are kind of similar. I think they got some bone and some foot size and some rib to them, adequate in terms of their muscle. This heifer in third just needs to get out and go a little more freedom and flex for me. She comes up a little short in terms of the length of her stride, but I do like her length of body and her performance. Young lady here in fourth has got a heifer that is really cool to look at. I like that about her. I just like to see a little more heifer there. She gets a little frailer at the ground, a little smaller in terms of her foot size. And then we round out the class with a long-bodied heifer, really level-hipped. We just need to stouten her bone work up, give her a little more muscle when you step in behind her to get any higher in this class. Congratulations, really a competitive pair on top in that class.
Another high-quality division of full-bloods over here. Our Brockle face female to come out of that first class. One I talked about, the combination of muscle and bone work and still a feminine look to her and that balance all the way through and just a no-holes type of a female. Really like that female to start up with. The front there, our female here out of the second class. I think we talked about her structural integrity, probably one of the softest at the ground, one of the freest going. Maybe if we were to nitpick on this one, we'd like to fix her from hooks to pins, square her up, make her a little leveler, a little truer out there. But I love the bone work that she has, the flexibility that she has, a very soft look about her. And then our female here out of the third class, again, a female that follows suit in terms of being able to get out and move. And when we get her stopped and gathered, she can still give you a really good look, really long neck. Maybe like to push that chest back in her a little bit. She wants to shove out there. Tidy her up through there and maybe add just a shot of flank in that one. Getting awful picky. I think we've got an excellent set of class winners, an excellent set of seconds to follow them up with. Let's give them one more round of applause. I'll look at them, select you a champion reserve in this division.
Here as we pick our champion this division in the Gelbvieh. As we talked, that first class winner in a single entry could have stood a lot of competition. Really fresh and just a ton of future to that female. Ultra neat up there through her front 1/3. Really flexible off of both ends. And I know she's real green, but you got to ask yourself, does she have quite enough to compete with them two heifers right behind her. She maybe gets a little narrower right behind her blade, and you step in behind her, you just don't know how much she's going to have here in the future. But I do like a lot of things about that heifer. Gives you a really neat look. Then we just got done talking about this pair out of the last class. Very, very competitive pair. They're both awesome in terms of their skeleton. Both of them give you a good look here from the side. We'll keep this pair together. Give those two young men a round of applause for champion reserve in this division.
And placings for Class 9 over in your full-blood Simmental Heifer Show. First place goes entry number 35, Red Clay and Nectara, exhibited by Amber Morris of Marengo, Indiana. Second place goes to entry number 37, FLC Jewel J17, exhibited by Landon Odell from Williamsburg, Kansas. And your champion senior heifer goes to entry number 29, exhibited by Peyton Kellen of Charleston, Arkansas. And your reserve senior heifer goes to entry number 32, Cade Tate from Mordero, Oklahoma. We'll now be ready to select your grand champion, full-blood Simmental heifer here at the 50th Annual North American. And placings in Class 6 over in your Gelbvieh side. First place goes to entry number 10, T-Bar SMS 24 karat, exhibited by Avon Moon of Ellensburg, Washington. And second place goes to entry number 14, Prima Donna K272, exhibited by Justin Herlin from Blue Jacket, Oklahoma. Third place goes entry number 19, T-Bar S Miss Avani 5028K, exhibited by Hadley Ketcherside, Cuba, Missouri. Fourth place goes to entry number 13, Primabella K271, exhibited by Justin Herlin of Blue Jacket, Oklahoma. And fifth place goes to entry number 16, 265K, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marion, North Carolina. And entries number 17 and 18 or scratches. And your champion senior heifer calf was entry number 10, exhibited by Ava Moon of Ellensburg, Washington. And your reserve champion goes to entry number 14, exhibited by Justin Herland of Blue Jacket, Oklahoma.
Just a single entry to start the next division in the Gelbvieh show, but really a high-quality female heifer that's ultra-feminine through her front 1/3, flexible off of both ends of her skeleton. You like her here from the side. She's really leveled on her top, good from hooks to pins. We maybe want to stouten her up a little bit at the ground, clean her navel up ever so slightly. But the heifer comes to us really green and fresh. The young man's doing a nice job showing. Give him a round of applause for doing a great job.
And first place in class number 8 in your Gelbvieh show goes into number 20, Miss Rebel 222K, exhibited by Braylon Olin of Princeton, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is class 9 intermediate heifers. Folks around ringside in your Simmental show, could you please join me in giving Mr. Ryan Hefner one big round of applause for being with us here today. Again, give our judge here today a round of applause.
Well, if you could, please put your hands together. Give these exhibitors a round of applause. It's been a great set of kids to work with here in our full blood show, and the quality, although numbers have not always been the deepest, the quality has been ran top to bottom in every single class that's came out here, and I commend you as breeders and exhibitors for bringing such good quality stock here to the North American. It's truly been a fun experience to get to be out here and evaluate these cattle. Run through our lineup here real quick. I think we've got 2 calves here come out of that first division. Both of them got a world of future in them. I think both of them got all the parts and pieces that will continue to do good things for these young ladies and get better as they get older. And their time will come. You know, they've got to match up with these big heifers later on back down the line, and maybe aren't quite there yet, but I think with the outlines they've got, the structure they've got, they're going to do good things. We come into our middle division here. Here was a female. We talked about having a structure advantage and a skeletal advantage in terms of movement and flexibility and getting out and going, and we still appreciate that about her when we get out here. Sure, maybe didn't have as much gas or as much power as some of the others in that division, but I think just a smooth skeletal makeup and a well-balanced outline. And the spotted heifer there that was reserved to her does have a shot more of that growth and performance and muscling, but gives up just a little bit of that eye appeal and the overall balance that this female here has. But 2 very good ones out of that division as well. And we get here to our brockle face female come out of that last division. Love her down her spine. Love the amount of femininity and style she has. Soft enough in her rib cage. Gets out and goes. Very angular. Sure, we'd like to set that tail head down in her just ever so slightly. Being awful picky on a real good one. We talked about the other heifer there right behind her, how that one probably was as smooth and as fluent as any female. Like to square her up in her hip just ever so slightly there from hooks to pins. She wants to slope off a bit, but I think you've got an incredible lineup and a lot of different options. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here. It really has been a fun one. Let's give them all one more round of applause. I'll go out and select you a champion reserve in your full blood show.
Over here in the Gelbvieh show, really a competitive pair in this class. Young lady's heifer just wins. She's so long and level from hooks to pins, very attractive here from the side, and you set her in motion. She doesn't disappoint you at all. I would just like you step in behind her, maybe just give her a little more outward shape to her rib cage. She maybe wants to get a little flatter in her makeup, but a very high quality heifer paints an awesome picture from the side. Very well presented. Congratulations to that young lady. Young man's got a nice heifer that just comes in a tough class here because I like the extra foot size and bone this heifer possesses. I think she's really cool from her shoulder forward. She gets a little rounder in terms of the shape of her shoulder, a little rounder from hooks to pins, but still a high quality female. Make an awesome project for that young man. Congratulations to both of them exhibitors.
And your grand champion full-blood Simmental heifer goes to entry number 29, TCBO Augusta, exhibited by Peyton Clean of Charleston, Arkansas. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion heifer goes to entry number 32, Lowglen Sirbold Brandy, 21K, exhibited by Cade Tate of Muldrow, Oklahoma. Congratulations. And placings in class number 9 of your Gelbvieh show, first place goes to entry number 22, Kinsley 265K, exhibited by Alexander Rabb of Markle, Indiana. And second place goes entry number 21, MS Rebel Yell 214K, exhibited by Braden Owen of Princeton, Kentucky. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is class 11. Now entering the ring will be the selection of your Division 4 champion. Again, we will be selecting your intermediate heifer champion.
Bud, you set up right behind that heifer. Right there. Not a lot of numbers in this division. We had a heifer out of the first class, a single entry, really green in terms of her makeup, but like I said, a class, ultra flexible, ultra feminine. You just like to see more heifer there. She needs some more time, maybe some more feed to get there. Then we had a nice competitive pair in the second class, one that won the class, did so real easy, just so balanced and complete, really level in her lines, really attractive, and then a nice heifer that was stout featured to go second. We'll keep those two out of the second class together. Give them a round of applause for doing a great job.
And your Division 4 champion goes to entry number 22, Kinsley 265K, exhibited by Alexander Rabb of Markle, Indiana. And your reserve division champion goes to entry 20, Miss Rebel 222K, exhibited by Brandon Owen of Princeton, Kentucky. Again, congratulations to those exhibitors. We're now ready for Class 11 junior heifers. Again, we are ready for Class 11 in your Gelbvieh show. We're ready for Class 11 Gelbvieh females. We are ready for Class 11 Gelbvieh females. And your bred known champion over in your full blood Simmental Heifer show goes to entry number 13, Logan Dandy Tovey 302L, exhibited by Logan Smith of Rowland, Oklahoma. Congratulations. And congratulations to all full blood Simmental exhibitors here at the 50th Annual North American International Livestock Expo.
Boy, we got a nice one to win the class in the Gelbvieh show over here. Ultra incredible in terms of the way her skeleton's designed. I love the angle to her shoulder, the back slope to her knee, the angle to her hock and her rear pastern. You set her in motion because of that. She's so comfortable and flexible off of both ends. Really neat in terms of the shape of her head and her neck, and it ties smooth into her shoulder. And I think she's more than adequate in terms of width and spread. Coming out of the top of her spine, she's really level and uniform in her underline. Perfect in terms of her condition. Really a nice place to start. Congratulations. The young lady in second's got another very good heifer, just runs into a really good one in this class. I think this heifer gives you an awesome look here from the side. She's correct in terms of the angles of her skeleton. She's big and bold in her center rib. I think she's attractive in terms of her front end. Just to compete with that one in front of her would give her a little more stoutness in terms of her bone work, maybe tuck her chest up in her ever so slightly, but still a very nice female. The young man, the red heifer, is actually going to come here third, one that's big and bold in terms of her rib cage. I like that about her. I think she's going to make a low maintenance, easy keeping kind of a cow. Just to compete with them ones in front of her, she needs to be a little more extended and fresher up there through her front 1/3, maybe stouten her up in terms of her pin width when you step in behind her, but still a very nice female. Then we round out the class with a black heifer. It is really flexible off of both ends. I appreciate that about her. She just needs to be softer in terms of her center rib. I like to see a little more depth in terms of her flank. Just tighten her up in her underline a little nicer, balance her up to compete with the ones in front of her. But a very nice class, a really good one on top in that class.
And first place in class number 11 over in your Gelbvieh show goes to entry number 26, Butler's Miss Kesha K4549, exhibited by Braylon Schaefer of Hagerstown, Indiana. Second place goes entry number 25, Julia 830F223K, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marion, North Carolina. Third place goes entry number 24, Butler's Miss Kristen 51K, exhibited by Ty Harrison of Holly Pond, Alabama. Fourth place in that class goes entry number 23, Haley K010, exhibited by Braden Owen of Princeton, Kentucky. Congratulations to those exhibitors. Now entering the ring is class 12.
Just a single entry in this class, and really a three-dimensional female. It's got a lot of width in terms of her chest and a lot of spread out of the top of her spine. I think you step in behind her, she's really a stout female. Maybe if we tweak her a little, she does come in a little rounder, piecier package. I'd like to neaten her up about her navel and her chest a little bit, but I do appreciate the width and mass that that heifer possesses. Congratulations, young lady, on a nice single entry.
And first place in class 28 goes to, first place in class 12 goes to entry 28, Blackbird B500K, exhibited by Kyra Moore of Fountain Run, Kentucky. Congratulations. We're now ready for your Division 5. Again, we are ready for selection of Division 5 champion junior heifer calf.
Well, we didn't have a lot of numbers in this division, but the quality's been ultra high. That first class in this division, as we talked about, just one heifer that wins that class is really hard to put a hole in. She's got a lot of ESTs, being the prettiest, the neatest, the most balanced, just a very high quality heifer out of that class. And then second to her, you know, a heifer that's got a ton of quality, and she could have won some other classes today, just ran into a really tough one. I love how bold and big she is in her center rib, how flexible she is off of both ends of her skeleton. I would like to tuck her chest up in her ever so slightly, but still a very high quality heifer to go second that class. Then our single entry, as we talked about, really a wide-bodied, stout-ended female. You appreciate them things about her. As we compare her to those heifers out of the first class, she does get a little piecier. I'd like to tone her down over the top of her shoulder, tuck her chest and her navel up in her ever so slightly, but still a very nice heifer in her own right that's got some neat pieces for the young lady to breed on. We're going to keep the two heifers out of the first class together. Give them a round of applause for champion reserve in this division.
And your Division 5 champion goes entry number 26, Butler's Miss Kesha K549, exhibited by Braylon Schaefer of Hagerstown, Indiana. And your reserve division goes entry number 25, Julia 830F223K, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marietta, North Carolina. Congratulations. We're now ready for Class 14 Gelbvieh. Class 14 Gelbvieh now making their way into the ring.
Just a single entry older female here. Really a cowy female. Tons of rib and spring to a rib, or tons of shape and dimension to a rib cage. Really flexible off of both ends. Got a nice udder starting there. Looks like she's going to calve here pretty quick. Just an awesome female, and I think it's going to make a really cool cow for that young lady and breed her a lot of different ways and not go wrong. Congratulations on a really nice red single entry.
And first place in Class 14 goes to entry number 29, 1224J, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marion, North Carolina. Congratulations. Now entering the ring is Class 15 Senior Heifer Calves.
Single entry here, and she calved like she's supposed to. Has got a really cocky, cool little red bull calf there. I think her udder is exceptional, super level, and I love her teeth size. I think a cow that's very adequate in terms of her structure. Really a big hip female when you step in there. Behind her, she's got some length and width from hooks to pins and her pins down. She's maybe not the most attractive up there through her front 1/3, but I think she's more than adequate. Just a big-bodied, awesome uddered female that's doing a good job with a really cool little red bull calf. Congratulations, young ladies, on a very nice pair.
And first place in Class 15 goes into number 31, Cowtown Julia 15-0J, exhibited by Cameron in Nowback of Bland, Missouri. Congratulations. Now will be the selection of your Division 6 champion senior heifer calf.
Boy, I think this gets really close between these two females. Little different stages of production. One's getting close to calving, and one's already done that. It's got an awesome udder raise and a really cool calf. As we talk that red heifer in class, man, she's big and bold in terms of her rib cage, ultra flexible off of both ends. She's got a ton of flex and set to both ends of her skeleton. We could maybe tidy her up over the top side of her neck, but I don't think the female behind her is a big upgrade there. I love how level she is down her top and good from hooks to pins. Heifer that's more than adequate in terms of width. She maybe does have a little disadvantage in terms of her bone size. I would like to stouten that up ever so slightly, but I do think she gives a really neat look here from the side. And then the pair that we just got done talking about, you love her udder and what she's doing raising that calf. She could be a little neater there through her front end, and maybe it's not got quite as much set and flex in terms of her skeleton as the red heifer, but still high quality, sound female. I'm going to use the red heifer to win the division and use the pair reserve, but congratulations to both of them, very deserving.
And your Division 6 champion goes into number 29, 1224J, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marion, North Carolina. And your reserve division champion goes into number 31, Cowtown Julia 15-0J, exhibited by Cameron Nowback of Bland, Missouri. Congratulations. We're now ready to select your grand champion, Gelbvieh, here at the 50th anniversary of the North American. Again, we're ready to select your grand champion, Gelbvieh female. As they're coming in, I would like to reintroduce your judge for today, Mr. Ryan Johnson. He is originally from Northwest Iowa. He has attended South Dakota State University and graduated with a bachelor's degree in animal science. Currently resides in Mitchell, South Dakota, where he and his wife, Samantha, own and operate RJ Cattle Company. Through an extensive embryo transfer program, they raise and market around 300 show heifers and steers and around 100 bred females. They have sold cattle all across the United States and to Canada. Ryan is fortunate to evaluate here at the North American. If you could put your hands together for your judge today, Mr. Ryan Johnson.
As we get ready to pick our champion Gelbvieh female, commend these exhibitors. There's not been a lot of numbers, but the quality's been really, really good. Started with a single entry in that first division. So we talked her so flexible off of both ends. You just love that about her. Heifer that's big and bold, and she's got a good round rib cage in her. I like that about her. Plenty of muscle and width when you step in behind her. As we talked to her in class, I would like to tidy her up over the top side of her neck. She wants to get just a little cresty there, but I do think that heifer is awesome in terms of her skeleton. She's big-bodied and stout-ended. Definitely got a ton of future, a really nice female. The young lady that came out of the next division, so we talked about another rugged design, big bone female, ton of muscle and rib shape to her. We would like to tidy her up in terms of her navel ever so slightly, make her a little more ladylike about her head and neck, but still a high quality female out of that division. And then we got into these heifers here out of Division 3, and there was two of them that I thought were just awesome. I think this heifer that wins this division just balances up so neat from the side. She's awesome in terms of the angles of her skeleton. She's probably the longest bodied heifer in this tribe. I like how long and level she is from hooks to pins. I think she's more than adequate in terms of her rib cage. And for a heifer that long bodied, she still balances up very well in terms of her underline. She's not the neatest necked one out here in the tribe, but I think it's more than adequate. I would like to tidy her up through her throat latch ever so slightly, but definitely a heifer that's in contention here for champion or reserve. And then the next division, a heifer that we talked about, so long and level from hooks to pins and so attractive from the side. Maybe one, if we're going to change her, we want to give her a little more outward shape, but I do think a heifer that's sound structured's got a really nice silhouette. And then we had another class or division where there was two really highly competitive females, and this heifer still won that division so easy. Just elegant in terms of her front end, beautiful head shape, awesome and tidy the way her neck ties into the top of her shoulder. She's dead level down her top. She's big and bold in terms of her rib cage and ultra flexible off of both ends. Very highly competitive heifer in this tribe. And then the red heifer out of the last division, just one that looks like a cow. She's big bodied and flexible off of both ends. We'd maybe like to stouten her bone work up and make her a little neater through her front 1/3 to be a little more competitive in this tribe. But thanks again for having me. It's been an awesome show on the top end. I'll pick a champion reserve. Give them a round of applause for a very competitive drive.
And your grand champion, Gelbvieh female here at the North American, goes to entry number 26, Butler's Miss Kesha K549, exhibited by Braylon Schaefer of Hagerstown, Indiana. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion, Gelbvieh female, goes to entry number 10, T-Bar S Miss 24 Carat 1167K, exhibited by Avon Moon of Lindsborg, Washington. Congratulations. And your bred known champion goes to entry number 8, 298K ET, exhibited by Molly Anderson of Marion, North Carolina. Again, congratulations to all Gelbvieh and Balancer exhibitors on a successful show here at the 50th anniversary of the North American. Folks, that will conclude our shows here today in Broadbent Arena. We would like to invite you back here tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Again, shows start back here tomorrow in Broadbent.